Hessdalen Valley is quiet. It's a narrow stretch of land in central Norway, sparsely populated, surrounded by mountains, and largely unchanged for decades. No industry, no major roads, no reason for attention. And yet, for years, something has appeared here that refuses to behave normally. Lights. They emerge without warning, hovering above the valley floor, drifting between the hills, sometimes moving slowly, sometimes accelerating instantly. They appear as orbs, streaks, or pulsing shapes, white, yellow, red, occasionally blue. What makes Hessdalen unsettling is not the sightings themselves. It's the fact that they have been recorded, tracked, and measured, and still remain unexplained. These are not isolated witness stories. Cameras have captured the lights repeatedly, radar has detected them, spectral analysis has been performed, dedicated research stations were established to study the phenomenon, and yet no explanation fully accounts for their behavior. Some lights remain stationary for minutes, others move against the wind. Some appear to react to observation, changing intensity or vanishing entirely when equipment is adjusted. The valley does not produce them on a schedule. There is no predictable pattern and no confirmed trigger. What's most unsettling is the persistence. Decades of observation have not caused the phenomenon to fade. If anything, the lights appear less interested in being understood, continuing to appear as if nothing has changed. In Hessdalen, the mystery isn't whether something is happening. It's why, after all this time, it still hasn't stopped. In the Karakum Desert, there is a place where the ground never cools. A massive crater, over 200 feet wide, burns continuously, day and night. Flames rise from the earth, fed by natural gas that seeps upward without interruption. Locals call it the door to hell. The crater was never meant to exist. In the 1970s, Soviet engineers drilling for gas accidentally collapsed the ground beneath their rig. Fearing the release of toxic gases, they ignited the pit, expecting the fire to burn out within days. It never did. Decades later, the flames are still burning. What makes the door to hell unsettling isn't the fire. It's the uncertainty surrounding it. No one knows how deep the crater truly goes. The visible pit may only be the surface opening of a much larger underground pocket. There is no reliable estimate for how long it will continue burning. It could extinguish tomorrow, or continue for another century. At night, the glow illuminates the desert sky. The heat distorts the air. The ground near the edges feels unstable, as if the earth itself is breathing. This is not a natural volcano. It is not controlled, and it is not contained. It is a permanent reminder that some mistakes cannot be reversed, only observed as they continue. Hoyabachu Forest looks wrong before anything happens. The trees don't grow the way trees normally do. Many of them twist sharply at their base, bending into spirals before straightening again, not randomly, but repeatedly, as if following the same unseen instruction. In some areas, vegetation simply refuses to grow at all. Perfect circular clearings appear in the forest floor, where grass will not take root, despite identical soil conditions just inches away. Scientists have tested the soil. Nothing conclusive explains it. What makes Hoyabachu unsettling isn't that people feel afraid there. It's that the environment itself behaves inconsistently. Visitors report sudden headaches, nausea, and anxiety with no obvious trigger. Electronic devices, cameras, GPS units, phones are known to malfunction or shut down without warning. Batteries drain rapidly. Signals drop. These failures don't happen everywhere in the forest. They happen in specific locations. Some researchers have mapped these zones, areas where instruments behave erratically, then return to normal just meters away. No clear geological cause has been identified that explains the pattern. Time perception is another recurring detail. People describe entering the forest for what feels like minutes, only to emerge hours later. Watches and phones show the time has passed, but memory does not account for it. No blackout, no loss of consciousness, just missing time. What's most disturbing is how consistent the reports are across decades. Different visitors, different backgrounds, the same descriptions. Hoyabachu doesn't announce itself with sound or movement. Nothing jumps out, nothing chases you. Instead, it quietly interferes. The forest doesn't feel hostile, it feels indifferent. And that's what unsettles people most. Because when you leave, the symptoms fade. Devices work again. the world resumes behaving normally. But the forest remains unchanged, twisted, silent, and operating by rules that don't quite align with everything around it. In southeastern Massachusetts, there is a region locals avoid talking about. This region is known as the Bridgewater Triangle. What makes the triangle disturbing isn't any single phenomenon. It's the density. Over decades, people within the area have reported sightings that normally don't belong in the same place. Unidentified flying objects, large humanoid figures moving through forests at night, apparitions seen along roads and near water, livestock mutilations, occult symbols found deep in wooded areas, and an unusual number of missing persons cases with no clear resolution. On their own, each category could be dismissed. Together, they become harder to ignore. Law enforcement records confirm unexplained incidents that never led to charges or conclusions. Hunters report encountering things they can't identify, and refusing to return. Drivers describe figures crossing roads that leave no tracks. Some witnesses report missing time. Others describe equipment failure, cameras, radios, vehicles, all malfunctioning within the same stretches of land. Even skeptics note that reports spike in specific locations, not evenly across the region. The triangle doesn't produce constant activity. Instead, it produces clusters. Periods where multiple, unrelated events occur close together, then stop entirely. What's unsettling is how long this has gone on. The reports span generations, different backgrounds, different belief systems, and yet the descriptions remain strangely consistent. The Bridgewater Triangle doesn't announce itself with warning signs or boundaries. There's no moment where you know you've crossed into it. People usually realize only after something happens, and by then, whatever it was is already gone. No single explanation accounts for everything. And that may be the most disturbing part. Because unlike isolated haunted locations, the Bridgewater Triangle suggests something broader. A region where unrelated anomalies coexist without ever settling into a pattern that can be explained away. It isn't loud, it isn't theatrical, it's just crowded with things that don't belong together. Beneath Antarctica, under nearly 2.5 miles of solid ice, there is a place the surface world has never touched. No sunlight has reached it. No air has mixed with it. No organism from the modern world has entered it. This place is called Lake Vostok. The lake is massive, comparable in size to Lake Ontario, yet it has remained completely sealed off for millions of years. Trapped beneath pressure and geothermal heat, the water stays liquid in total darkness. When scientists first confirmed its existence, the reaction wasn't excitement. It was hesitation. Because whatever exists inside Lake Vostok has evolved in absolute isolation. Cut off from Earth's atmosphere long before humans existed. When researchers drilled down through the ice, they stopped short of fully breaching the lake, not because they lacked the technology, but because they were afraid of what contamination might do, not just to the lake, but to us. Some scientists quietly refer to Lake Vostok as an Earth-based analogue for alien worlds. The conditions beneath the ice closely resemble environments believed to exist on moons like Europa and Enceladus. In other words, this is one of the closest places on Earth to an extraterrestrial environment. And it's already here, sealed, untouched, waiting. The unsettling question isn't whether something lives there. It's whether this is a place that was ever meant to be opened. Because once a seal like that is broken, there is no way to close it again. Let me know what your favorite mysterious or unexplained locations are in the comments.